Hi, I'm Nick Thomas, instructor at the Academy of Historical Fencing, and I'm here for another lesson, this time on the lunge. Okay, I'm going to use a rapier for this, but I'm going to talk a little bit about how to use it with the sabre as well. There's only a small difference between the two. Our stance, shoulder width apart, okay, feet in line in this particular case. This foot, okay, as a rule it's going to be roughly 90 degrees, sometimes point it back a little bit. Okay, I tend to find that works really quite well for lunges. I'm going to start in third guard, or middle guard for sabre. Hand stays up here. We're going to take roughly a shoe's length step with this foot. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Okay, you don't need to do any excessive lunges. You can if you want. You can lunge to these kind of positions, but it leaves you really, really vulnerable. The longer you lunge, the lower you are, the slower your recovery times are, and that's all a problem. Okay, so roughly a shoe's length or just over, okay, that's the step. You want to make as little sound as possible for the simple reason that the more you're stamping down, the slower you are, the more you're planting yourself. Lift the shoe, lift as you possibly can, slide forward, nice fluid motion, nice and fast, okay? So roughly a shoe's length. When you land, the knee needs to go past the heel, okay? A couple of reasons. One is reach. We want to actually reach in for the thrust, okay? Or lunge, sorry, it doesn't have to be a thrust. And also, these kind of surfaces are fantastic, and particularly with the shoes we wear. You're not always going to have that going for you. If you land on any kind of soft surface, you don't have particularly good grip for whatever reason, and you land like this with the knee behind the heel, you will slide. It will slide out from under you. So you are going to do splits of something rather uncomfortable and then probably get humiliated and stabbed afterwards. It's really not good. Okay, so shoe's length step, knee goes past the heel, the back leg is locked out and straight. The back leg is what gets you power and speed going forwards. Okay, so this leg, push from it really quickly. Okay, drive it, lock it out, and drive it forwards. And then this leg is what's going to give you that recovery. And it's another reason that you want to bend this knee. With that knee bend, you've got this spring to bring you back up on your recovery. If you land like this, again, your recovery is slow. So lots of reasons to not land like this. Okay, step and lunge. Okay, step and drive through with the knee. In terms of what you're doing with the sword, that's not really relevant. We haven't got an opponent, so don't worry about your angles. There's no blade in front of you at the moment, so just get the arm straight. In terms of your timing, you have to move the sword first. It's a general rule of swordsmanship. Almost everything you ever do, you're going to move the sword first. Body follows it, then the foot. And that's for a number of reasons. One, you don't want to give any kind of tell to your opponent. Usually you have to get some kind of engagement to make it safe as well. Okay, so now with the sword in hand, okay, straighten the arm into some position, take a step, okay, and reach forward. Now, in terms of your upper body, when you go to things like the sabre, you tend to see quite a lot of upright lunges, and that's the same for some small sword things as well. So when we lunge, it would be like this, really quite straight. And one of the reasons for that is that you're a lot more secure in terms of being cut afterwards, making parries and everything else. With the rapier, we tend to bend at the hips for a bit more reach. So when we step in, bend at the hips, and actually get more reach from here as well, rather than being an upright straight stance like this. Okay? So that will all help you get reach. So don't get reach by taking an excessive step, get your reach by bending the knee in and bending at the hips to reach for your opponent. Okay? So that's all about your reach. In terms of your front knee here, okay, it needs to point forwards, your front foot needs to point forwards to your opponent, and when you land, the knee needs to land over the top of the foot as it was before in your guard position, okay? Most people will instinctively, as they come forward, turn the foot, and that's because we used to walk in with our feet in parallel, okay? So you need to get used to this action of foot pointing forwards, knee going over it. And that's useful in terms of getting reach and good recovery, but also not screwing your knees up over time. The biggest problem people have in that regard is the knee comes in like this, okay, and that's really going to do you damage over time, okay? So really, really get that knee straight. Don't ever have it coming inwards, okay? So like this. Point the front foot, point the knee, okay? That's going to get you a nice, safe, solid lunge that isn't going to damage your knees. A few other things. This offhand, two things you can do with it. You can keep it forwards or you can throw it back. In sport fencing, you're familiar with seeing the hand go back, okay? And that's useful in terms of getting the shoulders in line for reach and sort of counterbalance to a certain degree as well. We use that, and we also keep the hand forward if you want to for protection. Okay, so what we can do is we can lunge and keep the hand here to protect ourselves against anything else that's going to come in. Better, for example, to take a cut on the arm into the head. We can use it for grappling and all kinds of things like that. And also, if you've got an offhand weapon, you can use that as well. The advantage of keeping the hand forward is you've got protection. The advantage of throwing it back is the shoulders go in line and you get maximum reach. Okay? Both are seen in rapier. You can use both, practice both. What you'll tend to find is when you try and lunge against somebody in guard for wide measure, you'll probably throw the hand back anyway because you've gone forward so quickly and you lunge back. But practice with both of them, it's all good stuff. It's really important you get shoulders, hips and feet in line. And the simple way to do it is to find a line like this, assuming your opponent's this side to my right, okay? From here, your hips, your feet, your shoulders, everything is in line. Just turn this foot so it points towards the enemy, okay? And then from here, shoulders and hips, foot, stay all in line, go like this, okay? All nice and in line, maximum reach, okay? That's what you really want when you're lunging. As far as rapier training goes, if you're not lunging, then you're really lacking an awful lot of material, unless you're doing some of the Spanish stuff, which can be a bit different. But if you're doing anything Italian-based, the kind of stuff that was taught in Britain, you need to be lunging an awful lot. In terms of comparing it to a passing step, where passing step is just where the feet go one in front of the other, one behind the other, as we walk, like a walking step, okay? The advantage of the passing step is you stay nice and upright and it covers more ground. The advantage of the lunge is that it's very fast, okay? And that's the best thing about it. You can lunge with a thrust or cut. You can use it with any of your weapons. That's probably all I need to say about that. Okay. Watch out for bad habits. This back foot especially. The back foot does absolutely nothing on a lunge. Okay. When we do our lunge, the back foot stays there. When we recover, it stays. Does nothing. People have a tendency to roll it like this, to slide it. The other thing is to lift up like this. Again, all of these things are going to slow you down and potentially do you damage. Okay, so keep it there, keep it flat, keep it planted, lunge, recover. Nothing happens with that foot at all. Okay? That'll do for now. Any questions, put them in the comments. Thanks for watching.